to understand very quickly whether what we are doing is upasana or it is just getting mechanical. And every human being has the capacity to transform the apparently mechanical into upasana. And pramada, negligence, can cause upasana, the richness of upasana, to degenerate into karma. Because it is not karma, it was designed for jnana. Upasana designed for jnana, isn't it? So let us be very, very careful. Fair amount of introspection, not too much. Don't indulge in introspection. If you are depressed, if you are unhappy, you come to a place seeking solace, peace, and then you try to analyze yourself, you will sink into that vortex, because all the inputs that you will get will be negative. I am so bad, yes I am so bad. That is why this happened. You will sink into depression. That was not the idea, the purpose of introspection. We need to know, yes, there are lacunae, there are some things wrong in me, and they are not me, and I don't want them, remove them. Who will remove them? That is your connection to the divine. So if you just do introspection, you will go mad, especially if you are depressed. So adequate introspection so that ahankara doesn't arise, you don't blame others or situations, that is enough, and then you demand the divine, help me out of this. Makes sense? That is the beauty of upasana. So if these elements are coming in your life, I think we can say, yes, we are doing upasana. And then remember, everything will be upasana. Whatever you do will be upasana. It will have the touch of the divine. You will be able to contact the divine even in the most mundane of activities. Otherwise, the most sophisticated can be just meaningless. You have your neighbors, you come out, you greet him, you say, how are you? Yes, yes, and then poof, job done. Why I had to greet him, but I don't like him. He's a corrupt fellow. That is karma kand, isn't it? Even that is karma kand. Part of your life, not just to be defined as rituals. So we have to be careful. There is a process in the smallest of small things. Now you come here, there is a way you people sit, isn't it? There's a way we don't want a herd suddenly 60 people trying to get into that room and doing the puja or arti or something. There is a process. It will not be very sophisticated, but there is a process. For a newcomer, when I come here, I say, I don't want to disturb you, tell me what I'm supposed to do. So no matter how much Muktanand Swamiji affectionately says, no Swamiji, whatever you do, no, you will tell me what goes on, I won't disrupt that, and then we'll have something without disrupting the existing system. It's not karma kand, but there is a procedure. We need that. You understand that? It's a simple procedure. That is what Mataji demanded. So we have that. Now we are not going to take avalambana of the procedures alone and feel that we are doing upasana. That is my point. Makes sense? I do this, I attend that, nothing very complicated, no Vedic mantras, stotras that I have done. Then I sit and I do my japa, that is the Ram Nam. But is my heart in it is something I have to ask myself. And if it is not, then I should say, I have to have the bhavana. I need that emotion. I am not going to be satisfied with just the routine. Routine is necessary, but I am not going to be satisfied with the routine. I may fool others, but I don't want to fool myself. Makes sense? So that richness is what we have to bring, which makes everything upasana. This upasana to become meaningful has to be oriented towards the spiritual, that is the jnana. So we will have procedures, we will have, especially if it is more than one person, there will be duties given. Today I felt like cooking, so I cooked. Hey, you didn't tell me I was supposed to cook. This confusion will happen if you don't have any procedures. So a sort of karma, a defined procedure, protocol will be there. Otherwise it's be chaos, not based just on mood. If you are alone living in some jungle, that is okay. If there are two people, you better be careful. If there are 10, you be seriously careful. And you have 3 or 4 stragglers just coming in, then you have to be seriously careful. Okay? So those disciplines that are set define a place. At the same time, once defined, we don't want to get stuck in that. We won't get stuck because it is very simple. At the same time, we don't want, I am doing this, I have done my job feeling. No, I want the upasana element coming. In whatever I do, I should get the rasata, that love bit. joy also. It won't be bliss, maybe, but at least there is some satisfaction. What satisfaction? When I sit, when I do the Ram Nama, I should be able to do it even mentally, without uttering. That is a very subtle area. At that time, I'll be what? My own mind, my thoughts. There I'll be plagued, I'll be disturbed by my own memories, my thoughts. I'll have to deal with that. So there I will have to draw from the divine that strength to face myself. Most people can't. That is why they say, Swamiji, we don't have time for japa. 24 hours you don't have time for japa, your whole life is already in a mess. Because you have not understood the meaning, the purpose of human life. So after all excuses, etc. have died down, the person is forced to understand that he cannot or she cannot face himself. Because the moment you sit with your eyes closed, so much agitation is, let's get up, let me do something. And the divine is all pervasive, fine, but our point of contact is there. So that is where we want to be, that is upasana. So whatever the aspects of upasana, to make it pure upasana, the purity will come when the goal of that upasana is strengthening my connection with God, in effect understanding God, who is supposed to be beyond the reach of the mind and the senses, at least understanding myself in connection with God. Makes sense? What makes sense? It didn't make sense to me. Not yet. How do I understand myself as a person? How does a person understand? How does a person define himself? I am good, I am bad. It's not very late, otherwise it would be, I am hungry. Who are you? I am so-and-so's son. Or if you are established, oh, you don't know me, I am such an accomplished man, I am a great artist. Or I have a couple of millions lying here and there, otherwise I am a billionaire. That is the identification. This is what the Samaja demands of me. Correct? So that is how I see myself, because the Samaja is constantly demanding, each one to his own. Or I am a mother, I am a father, I have so many children. This is how your identification is being established, strengthened in each and every interaction with Samaja. So suddenly you are asked, okay, you keep quiet and you just contemplate on your own self. Who are you? You get confused, the mind gets baffled. It is only accustomed to thinking of itself by way of its accomplishments or relationships, and those are absolutely mundane. So even if I am defined as I am the absolute, I am the all-pervasive, I am the Atman, it will just be a thopa gaya. It is just an assumption. I am just going on. I am Brahman, I am Brahman. When you get up, nothing. And if you are sincere, you won't even be able to face it. So we strengthen the relationship with the divine. Instead of defining, I take a stop, I take a break. What do you call it nowadays? Youngsters call it a sabbatical. What are you doing? I have finished my whatever course, and then you're supposed to go to the next. No, I have taken a sabbatical for 1 day, 1 year. Wow, I don't know what it is. So they are going to consider whether to go for commerce or start a business or go into engineering or whatever. So maybe a small pause we take and say, I refuse to understand myself by way of my accomplishments or my failures or my relationships. I want to understand myself with reference to my connection with you, God. Not yet very clear. It will become clear as we go ahead, as we do upasana. That is our main guide. Is that connection becoming stronger? And is it instinctive? Is there love in that connection? I am yours. Then I happen to be in this existence as a jiva, so and so, these are my responsibilities. Strengthening this connection, this understanding, this self-identification, we call it asmita, is very, very important. And when you are, what you call upasana is actually strengthening this, instinctively I belong to you, then I have this. If that is becoming stronger, then what you are doing is upasana. Makes sense? It's not just a removal of the physical activity, but it is a complete, deep understanding, instinctive almost understanding, connection that is building up. Now that connection with the divine has to be guided. Some goal is there, that is the jnana. Ultimately, what do you want to do by strengthening this? Me and my God, that is enough. And then what happens? What about this? This is for a few years, and then I'll go to Vaikuntha. What will do? I'll play Raslila, or I'll go to Kailas. There God will be there, I'll be there. But my enemies will have gone to hell, so I'm fine. No, that's it. So again, we require the guidance of what is called jnana. So Aham Brahmasmi. All these are aspects that are brought out. The Vedas bring out. Karma Kand. So you do your duties, you fulfill your duties, and don't be restricted to that. Don't restrict yourself to that, because you are Atman. You cannot be restricted. You won't be fulfilled. So I've given as these examples in the Puranas of the king and the businessmen. They learned this is not going to satisfy us. My fault that I thought they were mine. They are independent entities. Why did I why did I try to base my happiness on their happiness or whatever? My accomplishment, we have to give up. So also each and every sadhaka has to go through this. So do well, accomplish something. Don't be satisfied with that. You cannot. It is your nature not to be satisfied by these accomplishments. Not because the Shastra says don't develop an ego, etc. That ego is there. Aham itself is an ego. I think of myself, I am, ego has come. He hurt me, he insulted me. Ego is there. And you say, okay, I don't have any ego, I'm just thinking of God. But you can't think of God. Something is troubling you. So many incidents, so many words somebody has said, etc. is troubling you. Ego is there. What do you do with it? Invoke the divine. In that, don't blame anything else. Not your own prarabdha, not your friends, not your enemies, not any of the situations you find yourself in. Say, I have the capacity to completely right now isolate myself. Just ensure that I am here in the Guru Sannidhi. I use this term because the Anugraha Shakti of the Lord I call Guru. Okay? He creates, he sustains, he dissolves. Yes, Srishti is going on, but when he takes a sankalpa, let this jiva be free, that comes to me as the Anugrahatmika Shakti. I have already felt the pain of Nigraha. Makes sense? What is God? Okay, he who creates, he who sustains the creation, he who dissolves the creation, then what else? He who does Nigraha, he keeps us bound. And then he who does Anugraha also. Panchakritya Parayana. Shiva is Panchakritya Parayana. He who has these 5 powers, he can create, he can sustain, he can dissolve. He can put us in Jiva Bhava and he can liberate us by accepting us, and then the Sadhakarya Shivoham. Okay? He who has that. Makes sense? Otherwise you have God who is creating, sustaining and dissolving, and you have your Guru desperately trying to free you. No, it is that Ishvara only who will come to liberate also. So these 5 aspects are going on. When I am doing my so-called upasana, I am aware of myself. I am refusing to identify myself with my thoughts, with memories of I should have done that, oh this is what was done to me, etc., etc., which will naturally plague a sadhaka when he shuts his eyes. So I will start positively visualizing things which I associate with divinity. It may be a vigraha, it may be a place like this. That is the mind being used intelligently in upasana. You have done something here, correct? You may not have done havanas, but you remember you have spent 5 days here, you have sat there, you have gone in there, put those flowers, you have felt that presence there. Whatever little activity you have performed there is what you will start visualizing when you sit for your japa meditation at home. That is the karma of upasana, the mental visualization. Normally I recommend don't try to visualize static. I see a shivling, a golden shivling, it becomes too much of a strain. Visualize, I am walking up the steps. I go there, I do namaskar, I am offering these flowers, I go to the next, there are the padukas, I offer flowers, Here I have come out. Now I am sitting in the hall and the Ram Nam is going on. I am also participating. This is visualization. Okay? And when you do that, you start your internal Ram Nam, which is the japa. So you have given the mind something, you are leading it. Okay? Otherwise the mind gets baffled and it will start screaming like a child, or it will go to sleep. Two options the mind has. You keep it busy visualizing what you have done here. Do it with grace. Do it very methodically. All mental. And then when the mind is placated like that, you have started your mental japa and let that go on. There you will be pulled in. Invoking that presence constantly. This becomes an aspect of upasana. Basic. There if something comes up, you deal with it. I am here right now in the presence of the divine. Makes sense? Now the same thing is sophisticated when you go use mantras, etc. There are bijakshara yukta mantras. Those mantras are not going to be satisfied if you just start doing it. You have to be initiated in it. You will have to do the nyasa, the devata of the mantra. You have to be careful. If it is an ugra mantra, you will be doubly careful. If it is a malin mantra, don't do it. But good spiritual mantras also will have their own demands. The devata will demand. So you'll have your sophistication will have to increase. Disturbs you? Sophistication. Yes, in upasana. Not sophistication in cutting down people and being nasty in such a polished manner that they can't reply back. That is sophistication, isn't it? Cultural sophistication. Unsophisticated person says, hey, you are a fool. A sophisticated person will put it so nicely, when you go home you realize you have been insulted. Not that sort of sophistication. Genuine sophistication, fine-tuning. If I want to sit, I want to do what I have just defined sort of as upasana. I use the mental visualization and the connection has to be strong. If I am getting disturbed, I'll have to understand, I have a headache today, I can't focus, that's one. Or I am disturbed, I'm anxious. Why? Because I'm going to have guests today and I don't know what, so I'm anxious and I can't do my japa. So many reasons, isn't it? They're external and not even in the present, because these 15 minutes have been designated for japa. What stops me? It is not the neighbor's child, it is not the dog, it is nothing. It is something that is going to happen or something that has happened which is stopping me from focusing on the japa. This is my responsibility. Okay? So there the sophistication, that word I used. So don't think sheerly by grit or sankalpa you will be able to clear off your mind. So there we have to use whatever equipment we have. We have to do justice to it. I have the body, I have the mind. You can classify in any manner. Right now I'll just say the body, breathing, emotions, mind which can visualize, the buddhi which can focus on the mantra. These elements. I have to see that they are all fine-tuned for this particular purpose of strengthening the connection with the divine. So far so good. It's not just my mind undefined, it is the body, it's the breathing, it's the emotions, it's the mind which can remember, bring a lot of masala, lots of thoughts, random thoughts where I'll have to isolate, I'll have to just keep the thoughts connected to the divine and the buddhi. Okay? So these if we use correctly, progressively understand them better, I would say we are bringing sophistication in our sadhana. And if we don't do that, we may not be able to develop that sort of concentration, attention on the divine. You want to, you're feeling so good. You go, you sit, you just want to be peaceful, you want to do japa, and then so many things come up that there is no time for japa. I don't know. Okay? So this is the sophistication I have. Makes sense? A deep understanding that God is all pervasive. So I don't want to limit God to a particular form. That's the normal thing. Swamiji, I don't like japa, any specific japa, because I like to meditate. Swamiji, I don't like to think of God in a particular form because that will be restricting God in a particular form. And God is formless. No objection. But then we have the Shastras, we have the Acharyas who are filled with compassion, who had understood their aikya, they had become one with God, who still gave us so many aspects or so many rupas that we could meditate upon. Durga, Lalita, Ishvara, etc. Why did they do that? To add to our confusion? No, there must be some rationale behind it, right? So one has to do vimarsha. Makes sense? Prakash is you understand something. Vimarsha is you really understand. When you do some thinking over it, manana, it becomes yours. So when we do vimarsha, we really understand what we have not understood, and then we understand the subject matter clearly. Otherwise you thought you had understood. So when you do vimarsha on this particular usual complaint, why form is given to the sadhaka? It is not to define God. The problem is not with God. If I limit God to a particular form, God is not constricted. My problem as a sadhaka is I am with form. I can't think of myself as the formless. You may say that, but if I do this, me, you will say. Right? If I do this, you won't say me. You think I have gone mad. If I want to call you, I should be looking at you. I can't look there and say, you are formless. No, you are all over. No, I thought I was calling you by doing this. Your identification is so body-based. So how does one transcend that? That is why these procedures are given. So let us accept that intelligently. This is my sharira. So when I sit for japa, let me see that I sit correctly. Whatever it is. So if I can't sit in any asana specific, use something so that it is slightly 1 centimeter also raised. It will release a lot of pressure on the spine, etc. All this way. So that means I am giving respect to the body. I am not considering it is an upadhi as it is misunderstood. All these are upadhis. They define you. So I take care of the body, and then before I plunge or attempt to plunge into the deepest of meditation, Shvasa Prashvasa. Very important. Highly neglected these days. Prana is something I don't want to discuss right now. The prana, shakti, the sanchar, etc. But one of its basic manifestations will be your mind, the thoughts, and also your breathing, which is both autonomous and can be controlled also, breathing. So that is why breathing has two aspects. One is oxygenation, which are, the results are palpable when you correctly get oxygen. And then when you deprive the organs of oxygen also and then inundate them with oxygen, it triggers off something else in your physical brain, which thinks about endurance, etc. That aspect also we have to do. All that is through pranayama. Regulating the understanding, getting in sync with the tremendous shakti called prana after you have attended to the physical, which will have a tremendous impact on your emotions and mind, so that you are in a better position to draw in your senses, pratyahara, do dharana on your mantra, that is japa, and merge into that is dhyana. Making sense? अर्थ झालं तुमका किती के थँक्यू चल गाडी simple. Ashtanga yoga, nowadays yoga is asana, some acrobatics, no. That is why the acharyas get irritated. Some asanas and pranayama and yogi, what is this? At least let us understand. Yama niyama, yama is there. Yama is general, whatever I can say your rules and conduct in life and so on. Niyama is something you take on. Every day I'll have a cold water bath. Or every day I'll sit, no matter what. Every day in the morning after the bath I'll sit and do japa. That is a sankalpa you take, a resolution. Those are your niyamas. Those niyamas will change. Some people have so many things like I'll eat only once a day, etc. Okay, it's good for your body also, but basically your sankalpa shakti is improving. And you will be less inclined to say, what can I do? I wanted to do this, but because of that, no, this didn't happen. So that griping will stop when you accept some niyamas and you come out strong. So that was the first, yama, niyama. And then do your asanas. You'll understand your body, it becomes better, fit. Yes, that is a very necessary thing. At the same time, when you sit for japa, the body won't disturb you. And when you do that, you do your pranayama. At one level, you energize the body through the correct pranayama. And at the same time, you're beginning to understand the very, very subtle movements of prana shakti. And in that understanding itself, you find your mind becomes calm. It does not go to sleep. If you do the wrong pranayama, you will go to sleep. If you do the correct set, your mind becomes very peaceful and your body becomes poised. So instinctively, you have no time for your worries, you have no time for anything negative, and you are in a state where you can easily do japa. So pranayama becomes this is a sophistication. Simply going into japa, unfortunately it doesn't come over. Why do youngsters come and say, Swamiji, I would like to meditate, I don't want to do japa? Because they have seen people taking a mala and going on doing japa. And then what is going on here, what is going on here? That image has contaminated the next generation. Saying, oh, I know these people, they go on doing some Rangnam and japa or some very sophisticated mantra, but their hearts are in all other things. So we have to get rid of that. We have to wipe out that image that has been created. And you can only do that if you take care of what you are doing. Your upasana is meaningful. When you sit, you are letting yourself strengthen your connection with God. If your prana sanchar is not okay, if you have not understood this basic care, how are you going to understand the mind which is infinitely more subtle, simple? Okay. So those elements of pranayama which seriously bring about a state of internal poise, which let you go into japa. That is why the Ashtanga Yoga was said, yama, niyama, you develop that will so that you don't go on making excuses why you could not do this, why you could not exercise, why you could not sit for japa this day. When you have taken a sankalpa every day, I'll sit. No, this happened, that happened. All that useless. You think you are giving reasons, actually they are just excuses. You'll see that. And lajja, you'll be ashamed of it. What is this nonsense? No excuses, I will sit. Then you are fit to be called a sadhaka. And that sadhaka and upasaka. So then you come to the level of asana and pranayama. I'm just mentioning it. We're not going to do details right now. And then naturally you feel good. A lot of work happens in this place. You are attempting to do your japa and something troubles you. You have to use your intelligence. For instance, the preamble, we'll go into that later, dhyana, before the dhyana or whatever, visualization before actual japa begins. I'm at that stage, I have done my pranayama, very charged. I recommend diaphragmatic breathing, where if I keep my thumb at the navel, and this area, the core, I keep it a little taut. Not tense, just a little taut, and it's always taut. Then I breathe. Now when I am breathing, I have done my pranayama, the Basrika, Kapalabhati, Anulom Vilom. This is just before japa. I am not going to waste time now in my pranayama. I have already done that. Asanas, pranayama has been done. But before japa, a type of pranayama is I'll endeavor to breathe like this. What are the cautionings? I'm not going to raise my shoulders. I'm not going to raise my chest when I breathe. So I'm sitting, poised, relaxed. So when I take a deep breath, I'm not going to let this happen. This is thoracic breathing. Good in Bhastrika, but otherwise creates anxiety. You find a man, your colleague, he's sitting there, he's doing this, you say, what happened? He's going to have a heart attack or something. Children in Natak and all, when they do dramas, when they have been stuck some mustache out there. Why? Because he's become that 5-year-old is an asura. He's Ravana, he's coming there. You ask him, show anger, you do. Ahankar, anger. Yeah? But it has its effect. So we don't want to do this thoracic breathing when we want a state of poise. Oxygenation, everything has already happened. So right now, just before japa, I have put an ankusha here. This is not sophisticated to that extent where Mula Bandha has to be applied, or Jalandhara Bandha. That has been done in the morning. This is just before japa. I'm just settling down the prana, and I'm seeing that is only conducive for dhyana. Okay? Make sense? Okay. So there, this slightly tucked in, taking a deep breath without letting the chest come up. What happens? Filling up my lungs. At the same time, there's a small block here, and I'm not raising my chest. So the diaphragm has no option but to move sideways, that layer of muscle inside. It can't go further down because I've put an ankush, I've kept it in the tummy. What happens then? It goes down, it can't, then it spread. So I'll find my ribs will move sideways. This is what I would call diaphragmatic breathing. Not that, or letting the belly come out. That is belly breathing. That is good if you can't sleep and you want to sleep. So you do belly breathing, you will be so relaxed that you will go to sleep. You don't want that just before japa, no? You also be a little careful. You keep it taut. I'm exaggerating this right now to demonstrate. You don't have to breathe like this when you are doing japa, but actually it is that. It's a very controlled, not excessively controlled, but a very poised state of the prana sanchara happens. And the next physical, the prana movement, subtler emotional, and then mind, and then buddhi start getting into place. So asanas I've already done, but I'm aware of my asana as comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, I'll sit on a chair or a stool. I'll use a slight elevation. I'll make the body as comfortable, sthiram sukham asanam, as much as possible. Then my attention is on the prana sanchara. This type of breathing, I believe, triggers off the parasympathetic system, which means you feel good, you feel composed. The sympathetic is your anxiety, fight, flight response. No, we don't want this. Then I'm able to dare to go within, where I'll be putting my thoughts in process. What agitates me, incidents that have happened, things that have been said. Do I want to go on thinking about it? Do I want to approach the divine to handle that person or something like that? No. Then it will become karma kanda. I'm approaching God, I'm doing something for God so that He takes care of somebody else or takes care of my business. It's gone into karma kanda. I am doing this only for God, for myself, my connection with God. There's nothing selfish in it. I'll become a better person and that helps everybody. That being the my first step that I've just stabilized on this, you can visualize this. You park your vehicles there, you leave your slippers, you're walking up this, and here, at this stage itself, there are people assembled. My goal is that. So I'm walking towards that. I'll have people here, on this side, on this side. On this side I have people who I feel love me, I love them, I'm comfortable. On this side, I'm not referring to y'all, okay? This is a mental level which I will do. I have people who don't like me, who have been seriously vicious or they have said something. And there, what they have said is going to plague me when I try to do meditation. So I visualize them also. And you know what I do? I greet them. I greet these people also equally in that visualization. I dissolve. I cannot resolve. If you try to resolve your arguments, unhappiness, you are stuck. You will go into the waters. I dissolve that resistance. I dissolve that anxiety. I dissolve that dislike. I dissolve even the pain that I have felt in my interaction with people at this stage before I go into that. I greet them, and I see them responding nicely to me. It's my mind. I can do that. I greet everybody equally. People, my people, whom I love, whom I believe love me. It's all belief. And people who have been nasty, I greet them equally with equal love. Why? Because I'm in the sannidhi of the divine. That done, I go to the next. I cross, I leave both people. And then I dare to visualize I'm there for whatever I have to discuss, I think offer, then I sit there and then I start the japa. This is dhyana. The dhyan shloka that is given, okay, and then you start your japa. If you don't want to go into a form as per se, visualize this. Here I have let go of all the good and bad, what I like, what I dislike, because both are going to plague me when I think of the divine. I leave it here and then I dare to approach the divine. And very strong, if it is done intelligently every day, it becomes yours. So very swiftly, this will reduce. This visualization will reduce. You will swiftly be in that sannidhi which you know, which you have identified as the spiritual. Not necessarily defined. Certain things will be there, the paduka or a shivling or with whatever, a devi, whichever your samskaras, what the guru has given you, will determine what form you associate with the divine. The divine is not limited by that, but it is your point of contact. Some people, a shaligram, yes. Some people, a shivlinga, this is divine. You see, tell me right now, immediately, what will you define as Sri Ram, job done. He who has that book, he was there with Lakshmana, he was there with Sita, and Janma Janmarke Samskar. That I would like to define as spiritual or whatever. No, he is not limited. I am limited by this form. I want to transcend this limitation. I am not going to free God or bind God by thinking of him in a form. As long as I contact him, that my job is done. And to make that contact happen, the acharyas, the shastras have given certain forms. They are not going to keep you in your bound state and they are not going to limit God. Understand? So merely discarding form is not going to help because you are already bound by form. You are going to use the form of God if there is a form. I am not asking you to think. If you have been given only to get over your own limitation of form. I am this person, so and so, etc. So there that connection happens. Once the mantra starts, because I have taken care of my posture, I am comfortable, my breathing is poised. What I did yesterday, I may use some mantras intelligently and then I will receive. So the Vaikhari Vani is being put in. The uttered speech is no longer being uttered. So then once I stop uttering, still whatever thoughts are a subtle level of speech only. There I start my mantra japa. I am aware of it. I am aware of my breathing also. This is a madhyama level. But there's tremendous intensity where the mantra goes on very, very fast. And I'm just paying attention. I don't want to be disturbed. That state is almost at the level of Pashyanti, subtler level of Vani. And there the mantra starts acting. The Devata of the mantra starts responding. Why? Because I am not troubling the Devata with me. I am meditating, I am thinking of you. This bhavana has gone. Makes sense? Anything making sense? I am reading a book. I know the language, as I say. Simple example, I keep giving this. So, since I don't know what the book contains, I just start reading and then I'm captivated by the narrative and I get so absorbed in the book. I don't really see the letters, I don't see the words. I am transported into the world of the author. You know, at that time, I don't want to be disturbed. I will not be disturbed. That rickshaw went there, I would not have been disturbed if I was reading, engrossed in something, isn't it? Not only other things, I would not like to disturb myself. If I am conscious I am reading, that narrative breaks. I can't enjoy that. So I forget myself and even myself in the narrative. You understand? That is akin to dhyana. The process, the feeling that I have to do, I should not think of this, that has all been left. And the intensity, the oneness that is happening, it is upasana. So when that intensified, and there in upasana it is love. It is tremendous love. That happens when your japa has begun in this manner. You have taken care of the body. The prana sanchar is so beautiful. Having done Anulom Vilom earlier, right now with this type of breathing, there's so much intensity. You don't want to be disturbed. So the japa is the only thing. It is no longer a set of words. It is the divine. That is what it is supposed to be. What is the mantra? The mantra is the sharira of the devata. This is my sharira. The mantra that I have received, whatever the mantra, is the sharira of the devata. I am, but when people want to communicate, they have to speak to me. I am restricted to this body right now as a jiva, and the devata, the sharira, is the mantra. So first when I receive the mantra, I do the nyas. I place the rishi of the mantra in the head, Guru Turya. When I am going to utter the mantra, it should be chandavad. I can't go on just repeating anything, forgetting half the words or gasping. So I'll keep the chandas, the meter of the mantra in my mouth. I'll invoke the devata of the mantra in my heart. I'll invoke the shakti, bija of the mantra in my muladhara. The shakti and the kilak. In this body, I am invoking the entire mantra. This is my body, that mantra, the words, etc. are the devata sharira, and I invoke the sharira of the devata in this body. Then what do I do? Still, aham, I am there. There I become one with the devata, the divine aspect of the mantra. That is through japa. Having done the nyas, just want to merge into that. There is so much love. You understand this? So these aspects have to come where this upasana, as you said, we do upasana here, not karma, becomes meaningful. If even when we sit for japa, there is too much restlessness, we have to attend to it. To a certain extent, we can take care of the body. The emotional, we have to take care. Even pain, undefined pain, frustration, whatever, can simply be offered at the feet of the Guru. Because you deserve that, okay? You understand what I'm saying? Your skirmishes, daily skirmishes, this man said that, so I'm so unhappy, and this man has always been vindictive, etc. You have accepted the responsibility as my prarabdha, so before you ascend those steps, you have said, I'll greet those people and I'll dissolve that antagonism or fear or whatever I have. You have done your work with your kartritva. When you go there, still there will be Purvajanma samskaras, some pain unidentified. I don't want you to go into psychoanalysis or do regression and all. That is a latest fad. Everybody makes money, you lose. Regression. So don't. The yogis just said this is there. Innumerable janmas. Don't try to trace back. You will find, most people find, knee pain and all. What is the cause? Because you were an empress in some life. You used to make people kneel down. So now you are getting knee pain. And that patient comes back. Knee pain continues, but very happy. Why? Because some janma I was an empress or emperor. This foolishness, somebody is making money, you are losing on all levels. Discard. If you really have a trained person, they can help you understand something in your past, even this janma has traumatized you. You cannot face it, you don't remember it, but now it is coming out in some funny reactions. Let those experts deal with it, because they know how to bring it to your conscious mind also, where you won't be again shocked by that, but you let go of that. That is another thing. Don't indulge in this. So right now, what do we do as sadhakas? Before psychiatry became so well-paying profession and very necessary, I have done my job. I have resolved whatever I can. Those are gunas, isn't it? Maitri, bhavna, etc. For people who are antagonist or something, what does Yoga Shastra say? Develop maitri towards them, at least internally. So I have done that. Still there may be some pain, etc. What do I do? You offer it. That is the visha that we offer Shiva. This churning that I am doing right now before japa, it is going to bring out a lot. Before the amrita, this visha halahan will also come out. I don't know what is. I can't go into it. I don't dare to. What do I do with this? I offer it to you. I don't try to analyze it. I just offer it to you. No matter what kachara comes up, what pain comes up, I simply offer it into your feet first. You accept it. It becomes your bhushana. He just holds it. Neelakantha he becomes. Like that I just offer it. You can deal with it. You won't be poisoned with it. I am finished if I try to deal with it or keep it somewhere. It's poison. So even that we offer. This is upasana. Makes sense? Yes, because in doing that, your bhakti, your love is really coming out. By if you deny yourself that, you retain the poison, and your connection is also not happening. Only you can accept this, and it won't damage you. You have the capacity to digest it or keep it, or wear it like an alankara. I don't care. You can, but I give, and in that, my love for you, my sharanagati, my surrender, etc., is happening. It's happening so beautifully. So this is all part of what I would call upasana. Then the Ramanama that you do becomes meaningful. Because we have to do it, we are part of society, so we have to do it together, we recite it together, we sing it together, but ultimately we want inclusion also. So when you sit, when you do your japa, you should be able to go at the mental level also. And this is what we traditionally call japa. Patha is when you do it. Bhajan, you shriek, you belt it out, bhajan. And if you have some discipline of tala and swara and all, even better, even God will enjoy it. Otherwise you will enjoy it, you'll see. But then we can sing together if there is some resemblance of order in that, so we are on the same page, so to say. So that is bhajana. Stotras are a little more cultured, you should know how to recite it, right? And pronunciation, etc. Vedic mantras are a totally different class also. I don't expect everybody to be groomed in that way. Anudat, Udat, Swarit has to be as it is. You can't add new tunes to it. Whereas one stotra you are accustomed to saying, you can change the tune every day. There is no dosha. You can't do that to Vedic mantras. So that's another category. So then we do that. And then, but when it comes to our own ucharana, in another manner, you do Lalita Sahasranam, for instance. So there you learn this harmonizing the breathing and ucharana, so that the mind also begins to focus. If I see somebody, Om Shri Mata, Shri Maharani, Srimad Singhasaneshwari, Chadaknikunda, Sambhota Deva, what is happening? I don't know what is that. Nobody knows what is happening. So at least the first thing you can do before you go into emotional bliss, etc., at least learn to say it correctly. What is correct? Ucharana, the best you can do. But Srinatha, Sri Maharaj, Srimad Singhasaneshwari, then probably take a breath. Chidagnikunda Sambhuta Deva Samatyata. And then if you have been doing your breathing correctly, you will be able to do 2 lines in one breath. Then you take a breath. So you're using, this is what sophistication, you use your breath also correctly and you utter it correctly, then probably 4 stanza or 2 stanzas in one breath, you're developing tremendous strength. It is emotional strength, it is endurance at a physical level, and anybody can do it. Remember that, it's not something for superhumans. You can do it, and tremendous capacity to pay attention is happening. So it becomes beautiful. Saraswati becomes very pleased. This child of mine is using this my Vani intelligently at the Vaikhari level, at the Madhyama level, because the correct breathing is happening at the Pashyanti level, and then I have to show him that I am in his heart at the Paravani level also. That is her job, she'll do it. So we have to use all these elements. When you do it, you will find your upasana really making sense. Your connection with the divine is strengthening. You realize you are moving closer and closer and closer. That is upasana. You're closer. And how are you moving closer? You are in a queue. You're fighting there, taking care, you're going there. Finally you deliver that, have a glimpse, and you rush out. Not and go get lost. No, not that sort of closeness I'm saying. You're closing, you're moving in closer to never retreat. Your position there is secure. And there is no competition. That is a beauty. You will sense that closeness and you will never be deprived or denied that. That is upasana. Okay? So it's not a fleeting acquaintance. It is not one jhalak of the, I had this, I was sitting there, I saw this fantastic thing. I felt I was, God everywhere and all. Is that Brahman? Am I enlightened? You do your work. Then we'll talk about it. So don't go for such fleeting things. They may be indications, but they are, as I keep saying, signposts. It's good, no? Yesterday we set out. I think I reached Kanyakumari because somebody took a wrong way. Finally we reached Ramnagar. So we require signposts. Halfway we go there, Kanhangad is this way. Where am I going? I don't know. So okay, that is required. But if I say, oh my God, this signpost, this is showing me the way I go and hold it to myself, cling to it. So whatever experiences etc. are only for that. You're on the path. Don't seek those, what you're going to get is much more. Maybe. If they come, fine. If they don't come, no issue. The Shakti is guiding. But your understanding will be by the strength you get through your upasana, with the deep, abiding presence that you feel in your heart, so that on a laukika level also you are able to handle things in a much, much better manner. Something that used to irritate, something that used to frighten you, it doesn't seem to demand that at all, or have that sort of a hold on you, simply because your connection with the divine is becoming stronger. That is upasana. You come closer, you are established. You are closer and closer established. Till the Lord says, you are mine. Till then we have to say, I am yours. Then he says, you are mine. We are late. We will finish off with the bhajan. आजकल को तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन. We'll do a bhajan. It is a bhajana that is sung by sadhakas, because you won't have any specific devata mentioned in this. It is just the sadhaka who says he is approaching his own, he is telling his own mind, oh my mind, become tanmaya, become one with God. Before, the goal is Aham Brahmasmi. But when you try to go about it abruptly and without the adhikara, it becomes meaningless. You will dry off. You just have some Brahma that you are Brahman, etc. At just a mediocre intellectual level. No, we have sensed, we have had the privilege to experience the divine. So in the presence of a living master. So I cherish that memory. And now that I am telling my mind, become one with that, become one with that at various levels. We'll do that bhajan. Bhajans also, as far as possible, don't follow the swara physically. That means use the prana correctly, use your vocal cords correctly, so that you can still get that using it correctly. All this is redundant, in fact it damages. You'll be able to repeat, Tanmaya ho ja, mere man, Shivamaya ho ja, mere man. Shivam is Mangalam. Become auspicious. Give up your tendency to think of nonsense or be unhappy, etc. Mangalamaya ho ja. Tanmaya ho ja, mere man, Shivamaya ho ja, mere man. Tanmaya ho ja, mere man, Shivamaya ho ja, mere man. Tanmaya ho ja, mere man, Shivamaya ho ja, mere man. Neela anavila mauna gagan, Neela anavila mauna gagan, Neela anavila mauna gagan, Neela anavila mauna gagan. Keet सुनाता बहे पवन, गीत सुनाता बहे पवन, गीत सुनाता बहे पवन, गीत सुनाता बहे पवन। अष्टमूर्ति का दिव्य नटन, अष्टमूर्ति का दिव्य नटन, अष्टमूर्ति का दिव्य नटन, अष्टमूर्ति का दिव्य नटन। अखिल जगत अनुपम आंगन, अखिल जगत अनुपम आंगन, अखिल जगत अनुपम आंगन, अखिल जगत अनुपम आंगन। तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, मुदमय हो जा मंगल मन, तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, मुदमय हो जा मंगल मन। अनहत का विरल स्पंदन, अनहत का विरल स्पंदन, अनहत का विरल स्पंदन, अनहत का विरल स्पंदन। गूंज रहे गिरि गह्वर वन, गूंज रहे गिरि गह्वर वन, गूंज रहे गिरि गह्वर वन, गूंज रहे गिरि गह्वर वन। समृत का उन्मुक्त सदन, समृत का उन्मुक्त सदन, समृत का उन्मुक्त सदन, समृत का उन्मुक्त सदन। कर ले साधु सतत भजन, कर ले साधु सतत भजन, कर ले साधु सतत भजन, कर ले साधु सतत भजन। तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, रसमय हो जा मधुकर मन, तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, रसमय हो जा मधुकर मन। श्री गुरुदेव ज्ञानांजन, श्री गुरुदेव ज्ञानांजन, श्री गुरुदेव ज्ञानांजन, श्री गुरुदेव ज्ञानांजन। शांति प्रदायक शास्त्र वचन, शांति प्रदायक शास्त्र वचन, शांति प्रदायक शास्त्र वचन, शांति प्रदायक शास्त्र वचन। अवन निरत अनवरत नयन, अवन निरत अनवरत नयन, अवन निरत अनवरत नयन, अनवरत नयन। खोल रहे मन अवगुंठन, खोल रहे मन Than Tanmaya ho ja mere man, Gurumaya ho ja vineya man. जगन्मात का स्मित आनंद, जगन्मात का स्मित आनंद, करता है अंतस पावन, करता है अंतस पावन, वरले माँ की वरद शरण, वरले माँ की वरद शरण, संवित सुखमय परिपूरण, संवित सुखमय परिपूरण, तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, चिन्मय हो जा उज्ज्वल मन, तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, चिन्मय हो जा उज्ज्वल मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, शिवमय हो जा मेरे मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, शिवमय हो जा मेरे मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, मुदमय हो जा मंगल मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, मुदमय हो जा मंगल मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, रसमय हो जा मधुकर मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो, रसमय हो जा मधुकर मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, गुरुमय हो जा विनय मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, गुरुमय हो जा विनय मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, चिन्मय हो जा उज्ज्वल मन, तन्मय हो जा, तन्मय हो जा, चिन्मय हो जा उज्ज्वल मन, तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, शिवमय हो जा मेरे मन, तन्मय हो जा मेरे मन, शिवमय हो जा मेरे मन. Whatever we do, there is an element of karma in that, there is an element of emotion, there is an amount of understanding. This is how human being, and a living being is understood. He can think, he feels, he can do something. Otherwise, he's a rock, something like that. At least at our level, Chaitanya is understood like that. And I understand myself also as an individual like that. I feel, so I am alive. I can think, I understand, so I am alive. I can do something, so I am a human being. So all these three powers, Kriya Shakti, the capacity to do, Bhavanatmak, Bhakti, etc., what it should be channelized into Bhakti, the power of emotion, and the capacity to understand, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, which is getting fragmented in the Vyavaharic level. We are drawing it in, offering it at the feet of the Guru. Correct? So there, remember, all these three elements are there. We can't just isolate one and say we are just Upasakas, so only emotion. There has to be an intelligence behind that emotion also. Otherwise, we won't be able to generate the emotion. And even if we generate, it will be misguided. But the intelligence, using it correctly and offering it. What is the goal? Advaita is the goal. One, that is the goal. So as and when it becomes clearer, that sort of manana has to be there. So that chintana also should be there, and purity in karma. So we will control, as I did yesterday, simplest of simple, any professional, whatever training you got or japa, etc. These elements are always there, no matter what the sampradaya. The Guru Smarana, and as I said yesterday, I found it easier, the Guru Paduka, which represents the entire parampara invoked in my Sahasrara. The Abhisheka of the Padukas is being done by the Shaktis, Chatushashtyupacharanya, then Lalita Sahasranam, how many Upacharas are there? So many Upacharas, all the Devis, all the Shaktis are doing the Upacharas. So those Shaktis recognize and they do the Upachara, the Abhishek of the Guru Paduka, which I have invoked in my Sahasrara. The Amrita that cascades down is purifying me. So all the chakras are blossoming because of Anugraha. And my response to that will be through this. So we'll just conclude with that. I recite the shloka, then I will just do the placement, Manasika. My karma, may it be with intelligence, so Ayin vision, my Muladhara. May my emotion not be thwarted, may not be contaminated. So Bhuvaneshwari Bija, Harlekha in my heart, Harim. Agnya Chakra, just for a second I wait. And then the Shrim Purna Bija in the Sahasrara. And then offer back to the Guru Shakti. So this will do. After that I'll keep going. Manasik Japa. Prakashamanam prathame prayani pratiprayani pyamritayanam antaf padavyam anusancharanti anandarupa abalam prapadye anandarupa abalam prapadye. गुह्यातिगुह्यगोत्रीत्वं गृहाणास्मत्कृतं जपं सिद्धिर्भवतु मेति स्वप्रसादां महेश्वरी। श्री राम जय राम ओम। 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 साधकाः सर्वे विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्थाशान्धवीनेस्तु प्रसन्नोऽस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव।
Jai Bappa